good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia Season 7, man. Another episode of Hiroaka, man. Possibly the last episode I will be reviewing of Hiroaka in the old room, because you guys know we're moving soon. So yeah, and also you guys, if there ends up being delayed in the review, Bash in Berlin is today, and it's starting in like less than 30 minutes, so, you know, definitely not going to finish it by the time the show starts, but hey, it's early instead of at 5 o'clock, so I should still have plenty of time to actually do the review itself, but yeah, if the review gets delayed a little bit, is out usually later than it usually is, that is why, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, so yeah, like I said, we're moving soon, so I think this might be the final episode I'll be reviewing here. We might be able to get to the next episode. I'm not entirely sure. Just yet. I'm not entirely sure on the exact dates, but I think we might get through one more episode here before we are completely done and we're like moved out and all that jazz. We move out for the 7 circles of hell that is the road trip across California back to Virginia. I am not looking forward to it, man. I fucking hate road trips. But anyway, guys, so yeah, that's the lowdown, man. This might be the final review here. Next week might be the final review. While I'm here, guess you guys get a review on time. Next week, you guys know that we got that. I was able to go through one more. But anyway, guys, let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start the episode off with the recap of what happened in the previous episode with Shoji. Which, first of all, one thing that this episode did not answer, and this is something I completely forgot about. I didn't even really notice when I was reacting to the episode when I went back to watch it, when I went back to look through it again right before recording. They never answer what happened with the gunshots the cop fired off. We don't know who he shot. Did he shoot anyone? Did he just shoot him in the air? We don't know what happened when the shots were fired, man. That is still left up in the air, which I thought was kind of weird. The episode never actually answered that question about the shots fired, but maybe in the next episode we will, but probably not. But yeah, I guess that'll just be forever left ambiguous. Did he shoot anybody? Did he kill anybody? Or did he just shoot him in the air, man? I don't know. Regardless of such, man, we see Spinner charging into the hospital with a bunch of the heteromorphs right beside him. And then as they go through, and that's it. What's one thing that was weird is that the direction they're going into is like completely open. And then we see all of the different like doctors and nurses and the staff at the hospital hand in hand blocking another side of the exit. Another entrance or exit way or whatever, or another hallway that's like to the left of where they're running to, like in the opposite direction, which I thought was kind of why they wouldn't be going through the front way where they were actually, or maybe Spinner was supposed to go that way while they were supposed to use the other way. I'm not entirely sure. I think that was how it was supposed to work. He goes straight, they take a left turn, and then they beat back up again. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, man, I gotta say, bro, one of the nurses here, bro, yo, she looked like she was ready to fuck shit up, man. She was ready to kill. She was ready to fight. She was ready to throw down with these motherfuckers, man. Like, goddamn, bro. Either that or this poor woman hasn't slept in like 5 days. Also, she was kind of bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. She would not be the only. She won't be the only baddie in this episode, man. As you guys all know, with the weather chick later. Yes, but yeah, she was hot, man. I thought she was hot. Anyway, so after that, and we get the recap of what Shoji said. Do you have a plan about the hospital? And then, surprisingly, they just give up. The heteromorphs just drop their weapons and just don't move, which I thought was kind of shocking. I legit thought they were going to charge right through with Spinner and they showed you have to keep fighting them or something, but no, they just give up. His words managed to reach some in time, which no lie, kind of surprised me. Like I said, I thought they were going to like continue the fight after Spinner's word. They just all charged into the hospital with them. But no. Anyway, after the OP, we get back with Spinner, man, and also Spinner's, and this I thought was interesting, where we see like Venom Spinner, as I like to call him, Lizard Spinner, whatever you want to call him, charging towards where Kurogiri is, and next to also going on the same time, we see Spinner before he became Spinner, charging alongside him, and we actually see Spinner's voice sounds differently than usually. At least I think it is. I could be wrong on this one because you guys know I usually watch the dub, and I remember the dub voice a little bit more than the Japanese voices for most of the main characters. But he sounded different, so I'm assuming this is how Spinner used to sound like before he became Spinner. Which definitely makes kind of curious how this is going to sound in the dub when Spinner's English VA gets to see how this will sound from there. But anyway, as Spinner is charging towards him, I like the way this was done too. This way this was directed. This episode was pretty well directed, I would say. I thought where he says, "I thought I wouldn't amount anything. I thought I wouldn't amount to anything. I thought if I follow you, I could be someone. Shigaraki, watch me." So he charges in through the gate, and he says, Look at all the people behind me. And I love the way this was framed too, where like Spinner is like has his arms out there, man, as he charged through. Like he's like let's go with all the Heteronorth by my side. We are ready to fuck shit up and free Kurogiri. That's what he thinks until he looks behind him and he sees that nobody is behind him. And we see President Mike coming out of the shadows, and he tells him that Shoji boys managed to reach them, and that guy's not going to be your secret weapon. Obviously referring to Kurogiri. So anyway, Kurogiri, he's like screaming Kurogiri as he tries to reach to him with the obviously the audio recording of Sugar Rocket All For One to wake him up. But of course, President Mike predicted this and fires off one of his like sound blast shouting Shira Komo, if I'm pronouncing his name right, who you guys know is obviously his friend that's obviously inside Kurogiri, which surprisingly manages to completely remove all his skills, which kind of shocked me, man, because I thought because I didn't think they would just like fall off that easily. But then again, President Mike also was able to go through like concrete and windows, so I'd say his sound blasts are pretty strong, to be fair. But yeah, that takes out Kurogiri. He's up, or not Kurogiri, Spinner. He's now scaleless and is down on the floor, seemingly unconscious for this portion of the episode. Then we have a flashback. There was a lot of flashbacks in this episode, I will say. So, once again, we see President Mike running into the hospital to catch up with Spinner to, of course, stop him. While Shoji and Koda, or really just Shoji, honestly, is like the last line of defense from the mob to the hospital. He just has his arm stuck up there while he's just facing down, what was it, like 300 people that they said was in this mob. And as this is going on, someone comes out from behind ready to hit Shota with a fucking axe. Which you guys will see in the reaction to the episode. I at first thought this was a shovel, but nah, it was an axe, which, yeah. Man was ready to just chop him up. But one of the other heteromorphs, a pig-looking motherfucker, comes in there, manages to stop it, but although he does end up cutting his hand trying to stop the blade. So then Pigman, or Professor, no, let's call him Professor Pig. Because you guys, that's a DC character, and he's also pretty cool, man. If you guys have played Arkham Knight, he was also in Gotham as well, and he was cool. So anyway, Professor Pig says, I might have used my anger the wrong way. You think? Of course, Mr. Centipede Man comes in and tells him, do not lose your nerve, and the man just keeps on yapping about don't stop moving, follow spinners, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's time to teach them a lesson. Just trying to keep them, you know, keep their anger levels up so they would continue on and you'll take out the, and get their revenge against the humans. Then Pigman continues on saying people raise their hand towards me even though I didn't do anything. Thinking about it makes my blood boil. He continues on saying that he really did raise his spirits when he heard rumors that there was a call to action. And also, this one was just kind of random. Like, while all this is going on, man's going on in his soliloquy about everything that happened and like his rage and wanting, like how he wanted to do something in his rage and like, you know, to fight the good fight against the humans and, you know, create a revolution and riot, all that jazz. We see a Arab heteromorph in the crowd. I don't know now, to be fair, I don't know if this dude actually is Arab or this is just someone that likes Arabic fashion because he's wearing the traditional, you know, white robe with like the headpiece on there and the leather whip thing or whatever it is that holds up the paper that covers like their like forehead and like goes straight down behind them. Like he was straight up wearing the full-on traditional Arabic outfit, man. So I don't know if this dude is Arabian or Middle Eastern, and this man traveled all the way from like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, or like any other Qatar or whatever places inside the Middle East, and traveled all the way to Japan just for this, or like, like I said, the man just likes Arabic fashion. But I just thought that was really random to have someone with like traditional Arabic clothing in there. There's also a shark dude as well, which, you know, he was cool. I like sharks. Anyway, as he continues onward, he starts tearing up more. He said the people inside the hospital, the doctors who are trying to protect their patient, he couldn't hit them. And this once again, Mr. Centipede tries once again to tell him to stop it, think calmly about this. And he realizes that that Shoji started to become a thorn, and the heteromorphs were finally radicalized to be meat shield, and now, you know, Shoji's words are starting to get to them. Another one of the people inside the mob tells him, why did you stop? This is a revolution! You know, we have to destroy everything. And so he asks Shoji, should I have just sat down quietly? And Shoji says, as he starts tearing up as well, the feelings that made you stand here today were not in vain or wrong. You didn't stop thinking, and that makes you shine bright in my eyes. That light will spread, and with us, like, let's change those who hurt others. until they are ashamed of their own punches. And so by this point, the mob and Lockjaw mentions the momentum has shifted. The riot and the revolution has stopped. Although I will say this was a bit jarring because right before this, we get this nice wide shot where we see the fire still there, smoke and everything. We still get the orange light, and then literally once it cuts from this back to the ground level of Coda, it's suddenly all the fire is gone. The orange lighting is gone. Everything is back to just normal broad daylight, man. Which I get what they were going for. Of course, the mood and everything, man. That definitely helped with the mood and the atmosphere of the scene. But they felt kind of trying to just go from that to something oh, we're everything is fine now. There's no more fires or anything. I don't know, man. I feel like you could have eased into this a little bit better. Maybe had a shot of the clouds or the smoke clearing out the sky or something, man. Because I felt like this was a little bit jarring to just go from that to this, and there's nothing there anymore. It's all just suddenly magically disappeared. So then we get back over to the present day. First of many times, like I said, there's a lot of flash. There's a lot of going back and forth with this episode of flashbacks. We get back over with present Mike, as Spinner says that his mind is blank and his body won't listen to him anymore. He's like, I can't wake up Kurogiri anymore. The audio devices are so he is admitted to me. He's like, I'm done. I can't do anything. I'm done. So then present Mike starts walking towards Kurogiri, and he starts taking in what I'm assuming is a really deep breath for his attack to try and get his friend back. But of course, once he's already has it all charged up and he's ready to fight, Spinner of course wakes up, grabs Shigaraki's hand, puts it on Kurogiri's head, or where it would be, and says save Shigaraki, and of course that wakes him up. I do like the way this was shown off, where you see where you got this projection thing with the silhouette or the outline of Spinner right before he puts his hand there, with various flashbacks to what happened beforehand, with him getting the new quirk, about him meeting Shigaraki for the first time. That's if he plays League of Legends, all that shit. I like the way this was done. So of course, President Mike fires his attack, but by this point it's already too late. Kurogiri awaits, and he is ready to go help out Shigaraki and the others. I will say one other thing I did think that was really cool about this part of the episode is that you actually see Shiramoko, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Shiramoko head. You can see part of his head within Kurogiri's mist or whatever, which I thought was kind of cool. You can actually see part of it coming out there during this part of the episode. Man. I thought that looked really, really nice. I like that part. Also, I love the music here. I love the track playing here with the little TikTok sound going with it, man. I thought this track was awesome. Then we see the commercial card, which I think this might have been the first time we saw Spinner's commercial card, but we might have saw it before in Season 6, but I'm not entirely sure. They did reuse Dobby's, though. And then we get over to the Weather Woman, Meryl. And, as some of you guys may have saw, when parts of the episode, once again, I question where people are finding these fucking leaks for these episodes. On Tuesday, and everyone was talking about her. I did see some. This was the only screenshots I did see from the episodes with those super low res screenshots that leak of the episode on Tuesdays for some reason. Like I said, I don't know how people are getting this shit, but whatever the case may be, everyone was talking oh my god, she's hot, blah 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 blah, all that jazz. And I have to say, man, Meryl. Yeah, she fine as hell, bro. I, like many of you, was not paying attention to the weather report she was giving during this part of the episode. Seriously, man, horticulture says he don't miss with his female characters, whether it's, Class A, with Uraraka, Jiro, Momo, etc. Toru is another one recently, man. She's beautiful. I really like her design. Midnight, Mount Lady's mid, so fuck her. Bubble Girl, you guys know I really like Bubble Girl, and possibly awaken my love for Underboob. Possibly. I don't know, the jury's kind of hard, but I think it might have been. So, shout out to Bubble Girl and Cara Edwards, man. And then, of course, you got Mirko, and now you got that doctor chick that I mentioned from previously in the episode, and now Meryl as well, man. Seriously, she finds out. Anyway, after she goes off the initial weather report going on there, she seemingly goes off the script. And because you guys can see from the director and the camera people behind the scenes are all what the fuck is she doing? So at this point it seemed like she was slightly going off the script. Then as this go on, we know she went completely off the script. Where she mentions that, can a butterfly that flaps its wing in Brazil cause a hurricane death? Which, funny they mentioned Brazil, which is very, very timely, because as you guys probably have saw, Twitter Twitter is now banned in Brazil, due to like the government or whatever. Some shit with the government has caused Twitter to get banned, and if people even use like a VPN to access Twitter in Brazil, they straight up get like an 8K fine. It's kind of crazy. And I've already seen tons of Twitter accounts that I follow, and people be like, goodbye my Brazilian followers, and Brazilian accounts like the Hiroaka Brazil account. I'm sure Bleach Brazil is gone as well. That for any shout to any OG Bleach fans, remember Bleach Brazil. I don't know if that account is even still active anymore, but like I remember Bleach Brazil when I first got into Bleach, man, back in 2016. So shout out to any Bleach fans shout out to any Bleach fans that remember Bleach Brazil. So that account's probably gone as well if it wasn't already gone already. There's been some other accounts I saw where they were waving their goodbyes, and people moving people moving over to BlueStacks, so people that from Brazil can follow them there and all that jazz, man. It was a whole thing going on there in like the last couple of days. But anyway, as she continues on her soliloquy, and then afterwards she just holds up a sign that says no AFO, no all for one, say that she firmly opposes the government to curry favors with all for one. And while the director, whoever this guy is just scrambling, be like, cut the commercial. So then we cut over back with Tabi and Todoroki, and I have to say, man, massive shout outs to Todoroki's Seiyu here, man. He sounded absolutely fantastic, man. So you got Ida over there trying to get Todoroki away, telling me he's gonna burn, and that everyone's at their limit, and Todoroki says that everyone's fighting hard past their limits, and he questions like, he has his dad's blood too. Why is Dabi the only one that's still standing at this current moment? And then eventually Dabi just flies away like he has jetpacks on his shoes, man. So he flies away, which was actually kind of cool to see that Dabi is capable, which was kind of cool to see how that was done. But right as he starts flying away, you hear Skeptic going on. You can hear Skeptic coming out from one of the Nomus saying that, no, I told you not to talk to me, but I have good news. It looks like your travel expenses have been covered as we see a Kurogiri portal open up, obviously sending him over to where Endeavor is. As we cut back over to the coffin in the sky, where we see the weather storm hitting them quite hard with the wind. And Monoma says, this fight's gonna be the textbooks, right? I'll make sure they say that they won because of me. Gotta love Monoma, man. Gotta love Monoma. So then we get cut back over to Aizawa as we see both Kurogiri with Present Mike open up a portal right behind them. So it looks like we might be seeing Aizawa and Kurogiri, fight each other. We might be seeing some of that action, and maybe continuing on with the storyline between those three, with them trying to rescue their friend, which I'm down for. I was like, that episode season 5 was amazing as well, and I've definitely been interested to see if they're actually going to be able to rescue their friend or not. And as you guys know, most of this was actually covered in Vigilantes. They showed off at least how he died and everything in Vigilantes. I don't know if they went as far to show you how he became Kurogiri and all that jazz, or if that's getting saved for the main series itself, or all that was shown off in Vigilantes. But I am curious to see if they're all take pieces of that. If the storyline does continue on working, and we do get another episode focused on them, and they do manage to probably save their friend and get him out there and finally get him away from Kurogiri and separate the two or whatever. I am curious if they're gonna take bits and pieces from Vigilantes and place them into here, man, if they haven't already done that, which I thought was interesting, man. Anyway, All for One starts going on in his soliloquy. The music here also during this part of the episode was fantastic as well. As he continues on saying, experience isn't one's who determines a person's whole life. Above all else, I trust people's emotions. And then is when he starts talking spinner. The feelings he had for his friend after a dark life, in order to allow Kurogiri with no access to information. And this is when he explains that he put a micro device in the hand that I guess sent all the information about what was happening right now to Kurogiri right then and there. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but okay. And then that's when and then he says, Iguchi, your job is complete. And right as he says that's when the portal opens up, showing off Dabi. So yeah, Endeavor versus Dabi, man. That's gonna be that. Well, that's an episode I look forward to seeing, man. That is something I do look forward to seeing. And then we see Twice come out of another portal, screaming hugs. I have no idea if that was Toga Seiyu just destroying her voice right there, grinding her vocal cords with sandpaper or not to make that sound, or if they got someone else, maybe that was Twice's actual Seiyu do that? I'm not entirely sure. It sounded so different that I don't even know if, like I said, I don't know if it even actually was Toga Seiyu that said that. But either way, man, whoever voiced that, whether or not it was actually Toga Seiyu or another voice actor, I'll know for sure once the dub this airs, because, you know, I can distinguish the voice a lot more. So I'll know, like, oh yeah, that's definitely Leanne Clark right there, or not. But regardless, man, shout out to the Seiyu that did this that did this little part right here, man. Goddamn. Also, I love All For One's face right here as he's saying it's like the sad man's death create animosity grows. Like, I just love how just like deadpan, but still having this shit-eating grin on his face. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I've won. You know, on All For One's face, man, it looks amazing. Man. Like, I love the key animation right here was spectacular, man. And so as Twice starts cloning himself again, and then Hawk just screams out, kill him right now, which, you know, he's not wrong. And this definitely just proves Hawk's point when he said back in season 6, where he said, like, we need to take care of Twice first. He is the most dangerous person of the League of Villains because of his quirk. And yeah, as we see throughout the last bit of the episode, he's 100% right. And then we head over back to the island with Toga and Uraraka, as Toga tries to go stabbing Sue, but Uraraka just throws her body at her to block the attack before tossing her back into the water. Love the sound effects here, man. The sound effects here were really good. This is when Uraraka starts to pick up on how Toga is able to disappear in the waves a little bit. So then we see, so then she's joined by a knockoff Pink Ranger from Power Ranger Samurai. Seriously, this looks like the Power Rangers from Power Ranger Samurai with the kanji on their faces, man. And then a knockoff Sailor Scout with like this moon staff, with like this moon sight this person's carrying, man. Like, I don't know if this was meant to be or not to Power Rangers and, you know, and Sailor Moon or not, but that's what came to my mind when I was watching this part of the episode. Anyway, we then see Grand Orca's man finally manages to chain up the Nomu as he launches some sort of echo attack on him to, I assume, take care of the Nomu. Then we start to actually see Toga actually use her brain for once, where she's like wondering what she should do about with Twice's blood, and she's with the amount she had. She can only use it for 30 to 40 minutes maximum, but she's stuck on us. So even if she did use it right now, she'd be stuck on the island and it wouldn't really do much. She's questioning whether or not the heroes know about this already, but eventually she just says, fuck it, I'm gonna trust the plan, hope Kurogiri gets me out of there, so we're gonna go for it. And right when she's about to use it, Sue manages to break the container off with her tongue. But we find out that it was actually a fake. And actually, we even got some narration from President Mike as well, saying like, you know, Toga's never really used broader strategies and tactics, you know, when she fights and everything. But now she sort of is. So, we find out that that was a fake, and that what was in the fake was basically some concoction that tracked Nomu to her. So a bunch of Nomu just attacks Sue. The Nomu that was up on top just attacks her, you know, solely. And then we see somehow Toga has transformed into into Sue. I guess maybe she already had some blood on hand, I would assume. And she's like over her body. I don't know if she like got her out of the way or like maybe blocked some of the attacks. Not entirely sure why Toga moved to that moved to where Sue was right in that current moment. But anyway, she ends up using Twice. She ends up sucking Twice's blood, and of course becomes Twice. And I also love the way this was animated right after she ingests the blood. Now she like instantly transforms into Twice, man. I thought it looked really cool, man. I like the way this was animated, and the compositing right here with the saturated background colors and everything, man, looked fantastic as well. So Kurogiri shows up, man, and she's ready, and she goes into the portal and tells Kurogiri to send her all over the place, and she wants to kill all the heroes, starting with Hawk. Love the dolly zoom they use right here, man. This part of the episode was beautifully directed, I must say. And then, of course, Uraraka is caught on her tail, uses her wild to try and catch up, but she ends up not allowed to find anything. And then she says, I still haven't gotten to talk about romance with you. Now, the interesting thing about this is that now I didn't notice when I watched the episode, obviously, because you guys don't read the manga. But after my initial viewing of the episode, and I went on Twitter, I did check to see. I was looking through the episode, and I saw someone actually mention that this line where she says, I wish we could have, wasn't in the manga. This was added in for this episode, which I thought was pretty cool and interesting that both went that direction, so I had to add some dialogue to this very scene. So then we're back to the present where Hawk sees a bunch of Twice just like falling down and like piling on top of each other from the portal. Obviously, all these Twice are CGI. trying to animate all this would be a pain. It would be hell on earth for any poor animator. Like as always, man, the CGI looks pretty good. And Twice is just as shocked as the audience, or Hawks, excuse me, is just as shocked as the audience of how the hell Shogo was even able to get some of Twice's blood, given he made sure he scrubbed all the blood stains off there and everything. He's questioning whether or not, other than maybe she hacked him on hand, and questions maybe if Dabi was somehow behind this. And then we get this wide shot where we see kind of the scale of how much Toga has cloned herself at this current moment. And the other colors they had, the other colors they had, you have Dabi's flames, some other flames around there, some purple, some red, some yellow. It looks really good, man. I love this shot, man. I love the color diversity that was shown off here. And the key animation of Hawks' face, and he's like, oh shit, we're fucked, was fantastic. As we get some narration from Dabi saying, then we'll be the ones with the last laugh. Love this final split shot between Toga and Dabi as the episode comes to a close, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, next week looks like we're going to be finally getting started into the Izuku and Shigaraki rematch, as well as Toga and Uraraga's matchup, which you guys know I'm excited for. I'm not excited for the reception for the Toga and Uraraka fight. If you know, you know, man. We'll talk all about that in the review of that episode, man, because oh boy, was it a shitstorm when this happened in the manga, man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is where I'm going to end this review off, man. Overall, I use episode a 9.5 out of 10, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me so if you feel like it. Links subscribe below. And as always, man, for more. See you guys next time.